Hi, everybody. Good evening, good Thursday. Thanks for being here on this 16th day of March. A pretty nice day in the neighborhood. Some sunshine goes a long way to putting you in a better mood. We've got some warmer air to come in the forecast as well. A little bump in the road before we get there. Freeze warning in effect again tonight through tomorrow morning. Maybe the last for a while, maybe the last for a long while. We'll talk about that in the ridge of high pressure that's keeping some Arctic air in place through the morning. Warmer air on the way. However, there is a chance, a very small chance, for some isolated, brief occurrences of freezing rain at the onset if precipitation arrives before the temperatures warm above freezing tomorrow. We'll talk more about that in just a few moments. It's a slight chance, but one you need to be made aware of as of right now. I'll even have a bit of a timeline for you in just a few seconds as well. A whole lot of information to cover from around the region, governmental meetings, and a whole lot happening this week. And already a full show set for, I believe, tomorrow as well. We'll go ahead and begin with coverage of one of those meetings tonight where the Paintsville City Council addressed several items in their regular session earlier this week, and one of those was some resolution to a long-standing debate over sewer rate increases. It's been a back-and-forth debate between the council and Paintsville Utilities for months now, the state mandating an increase to pay for improvements, and now it appears as though they have reached, as I said, a compromise. That followed, beginning the meeting, a very special recognition of some very deserving young ladies. Specifically, the 15th Region Champion Lady Tigers.
The first time it's been done since 1932, if I'm correct. Now, I don't know if these young ladies realize what they've done, but regional championships are extremely hard to win. And I would say in 20 or 30 years, you are going to realize the accomplishment that you actually made. And on behalf of the city council, the citizens of this city, we would like to give each of you a pen in remembrance of your accomplishment. Coach Trimble has done a heck of a job with this team. Your two coaches are not here, right?
No.
But we want to mention them. Coach Rice, and Coach Carroll. They're not here to be with us. We want to give these young ladies.
From there, the council agreed to advertise for bid for an additional generator at the Paintsville Utilities. They have received an additional grant for that generator with the assistance of Big Sandy Ad, and they opened bids for a steel structure for the generator to be installed at the recreational center. That bid coming in a little under estimate at $19,800. The mayor announced the spring cleanup campaign for the city of Paintsville the week of April the 17th through the 21st. You can get those large items out to the curb or have them picked up, and that's no building materials, no chemicals, and no tires, but just about anything else. And you can call City Hall for pickup and reserve a time and date. From there, Mr. Mark McKenzie was there for the request of a couple of different items. First off, to close a portion of Madison Street that shows up on city maps, basically a grassy area between the Church of Christ and Big Sandy RECC. Both of those entities requesting closure for that area. That closure approved by the council. And McKenzie was also there to ask for the council's consideration of a Mayo Plaza street dedication in regards to the potential sale of much of the plaza.
I'm Mark McKenzie, and I work for the family that owns Mayo Plaza, and we're currently under contract for the sale of the majority of Mayo Plaza. Part of the transaction that's under consideration is twofold. One, the prospective buyer is interested for their continued development purposes for the gray areas there identified on the plat to be accepted into the city street system. The seller is actually retaining the properties that are in the lilac color, the purple color, for future development, hopefully for obviously more job creation, more development of those properties. And so it's kind of a twofold request why we are asking for your consideration accepting these into the city street system. Is for the seller's purposes in the retention of the properties, plus the buyer's interest for their ongoing operations and development purposes.
The The council unanimously agreed to the terms that McKenzie presented. Those agreed to upon the sale of the plaza. If the sale falls through, the layout will stay the same. After which, Mayor Bill Mike Runyon asked for a motion to go into executive session to discuss pending litigation, emerging after which saying that the city council had reached a compromise with Paintsville Utilities on the long discussed and long debated sewer rate increase to pay for the inflow and infiltration project that the state is mandating. The council and utilities have wrangled with the issue for months, going back and forth from an $8 increase to one lesser with no resolve until this week.
In executive session, we discussed a couple of things. The number one thing is that we have agreed to rescind the original $8.29 rate increase from Paintsville Utilities. And we have also agreed to accept their new proposal on water and sewer rate increases.
So what this will do is it will fund the inflow and infiltration project. It will also fund a new project for pallet addition. And those rates at this time would be a 2% increase to sewer and a 16% increase to water initially, effective May 1st of 17. Again, on May 1st of 2018, there would be another increase of approximately 10%. So a 26% total increase. Now what that means to the consumer is significantly less cost to the consumer annually than the initially proposed $8.29.
The mayor citing this example of that increase, saying that 78% of the Paintsville Utilities customers fall into a category of using 5,000 gallons of water or less, and that if a customer uses 5,000 gallons after the rate increase, it will be the equivalent of an additional $2.97 per month for their water bills and approximately 80 cents per month of an increase on their sewage bills, coming in almost a quarter underneath the $4 mark and less than half of the original more than $8 rate that was proposed. And a relatively brief meeting of the Johnson County Fiscal Court earlier this week. Several items on the agenda, several of those dealing with keeping residents safe, albeit weather warning sirens or generators at area fire departments. Following approval of the minutes from the previous meeting, the usual $40,000 transfer from the general fund to the jail fund. There was some discussion on the generator projects for the Redbush and W.R. Castle fire departments. Regina Hall McClure with Big Sandy Ad requested permission to advertise for bids for both of those projects. Those generators adding to ones that are either going in or already installed at River, Rock House, and the courthouse area, in addition to the city fire department. The city recreational center is also coming soon. These generators to be installed at the Redbush and W.R. Castle departments like the others at no cost to the county. That followed by a request from Mountain Comprehensive Care Center for the county to serve as the pass-through agent, if you will. Christy Hicks, the Addictions Program Director, requests approval and support for a grant now available after a hiatus for a couple of years. This grant, as it did then, to provide substance abuse and mental health assistance to inmates in the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center.
So this would allow a clinical staff, a case manager, so that we would help set them up with services once they're released, and a peer support specialist, somebody who's in recovery themselves, to be able to work with them on a regular basis while they're incarcerated, and then as well after they're released from incarceration.
The program will cover some costs that the county is currently funding and have for the past couple of years. For example, approximately $1,200 in drug testing that the program covered last time it was in effect. This is a 3-year grant reaching about 140 inmates per year, and it obviously received unanimous approval. And lastly, the fiscal court approved the only bid for their first weather warning siren, a bid of just a little more than $17,016 submitted by Sirens for Cities. That weather warning siren to be placed in the county will be the second in Johnson County after the installation of the first weather warning siren placed at the Paintsville Fire Department just days ago, with hopes of obtaining more grant funds to purchase more weather warning sirens for the city and county in the future.
To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband.
In a few moments, another viewing area school system has voted to raise a nickel tax to raise funds to build a new school. We'll have that for you in just a few moments. Right now, this report coming out of Johnson County as well, some very explicit and sexual allegations contained in a sexual harassment lawsuit filed just this week by a former employee with the Johnson County Sheriff's Office against Sheriff Dwayne Price, and the Johnson County Fiscal Court is also included in the suit.
A suit filed by former employee of the Sheriff's Department, Joyce Estep.
Estep claims in her suit that within 1 week of being hired by Sheriff Dwayne Price and throughout the 5 years that she was an employee there, he sexually assaulted her, made repeated lewd, inappropriate, and unwelcome comments towards Estep, sending vulgar and boorish notes and emails to Estep with explicitly sexual language and photographs, and even made physical contact with her breast, and even exposed himself to her on at least one occasion. Estep's complaint alleges that Price on at least 3 occasions asked her to spend the night with him, and that on at least as many as 20 occasions Price gave her a handwritten note inviting her to have sex with him, forcing her to tear up those notes and throw them away after they were read. Estep claims that she continually ignored, refused, or declined his advances and invitations, and repeatedly asked Price to stop making those unwelcome and inappropriate comments. She also says that during her employment she did not report Price's comments, conduct, or behavior, fearing for retaliation, and that in 2016, after continually declining his advances for those years, she was given an ultimatum by Price to either quit her job or be fired. Also included in the several-page complaint are copies of a couple of handwritten notes that she alleged were written by Price and given to her. Sheriff Price was in a meeting when I reached out to him earlier today, but has gone on record as saying that he is quite simply shocked and saying that the allegations are absolutely untrue. And he compared to some degree the shock that he felt upon hearing news of the case to that he felt last year in early February or March when he discovered that there was money missing from his department. It was then that he called the Kentucky State Police, and they conducted a criminal audit of the Sheriff's Department, finding at least 3 irregularities in the bookkeeping process, and as a result, they took their case before a Johnson County grand jury, which last May indicted Joyce Estep on charges of theft for taking more than $900 from the property tax collection account at the Johnson County Sheriff's Department.
Says in a statement to us that it was for those charges that she was given an option to resign or be fired from her position.
And again, we'll reach out to both parties and have more on that subject when more information is available. I've got more headlines in a few moments. Right now, I've got a lot of announcements and a few reminders as well on tonight's McGoffin Farm Bureau Community Calendar.
Beginning with the Sagersville High School class of 1967, they're having a reunion meeting this Monday at your Sagersville East Famous Recipe at 6. This is their final planning meeting for their upcoming reunion, so all class members are urged to attend. That's Monday at 6. Now, already scheduled and set is the Sagersville High School all-class reunion. This is all-encompassing. You recall they had their first one last year to a phenomenal success, so it's planned again. And just to let you know, it's been set for May the 27th at, once again, North McGoffin Elementary. They're going to have a dinner, a DJ, casual dress. It's all free, and it's going to be an absolute blast for anyone who attended Sagersville High School at any time, either all the way through their high school career, if you will, or just for a short period. You can call Linda at 349-4411 or Kathy at 349-2385. I just got word from our friends at the Water into Wine Food Pantry that Senior Day is this Tuesday, 8:30 till noon, and their regular day will be this Wednesday, 8:30 till 3. That's Senior Day Tuesday, regular day Wednesday, at Water into Wine at the Lakefront Church of God. And turning to funeral service announcements this evening, brought to you by the Magafa County Funeral Home, a reminder of services to be held tomorrow beginning at 11 in the morning for 61-year-old Richard Morgan Hall of Hall Street in Sagersville, survived by his wife Veronica, son Tyler, and daughter Victoria Elise Hall. Visitation is this evening. Services once again tomorrow at 11 at the Magafa County Funeral Home. And 69-year-old Gary Jenkins of May Branch passed away on the 15th, survived by his wife Stella Fletcher Jenkins and sons Jeffrey and Nikki and daughter Amanda Salyer. Visitation is going to be tomorrow evening after 5 and all day Saturday and up until services that start Sunday at 2 o'clock, all from the Magafa County Funeral Home Chapel.
Nickel tax is one that we have become familiar with here as of late and over the past several years. Specifically in this instance, another Eastern Kentucky school district has voted to raise a nickel tax to raise millions of dollars in funds to build a new elementary school.
Like many other school systems have, like the Magafa County school system to build the new Magafa County High School, the Lawrence County Board of Education last night voted to raise a nickel tax to build a new Louisa West Elementary School. The nickel tax itself generates 5 cents for every $100 of valuation on property taxes, which equates to a $50 increase per year on property valued at $100,000. But that increased revenue gives the schools potential to borrow much more than that. As for when the tax would take effect, that depends largely on the voting public. If they disagree with the board's measure, they have 45 days to gather 10% of the signatures of voters who cast their ballot in the last general election. Should they get those signatures on a petition, they can bring it for a vote during the next general election. There's also another option should the public decide to do that, and that's for the board to pay for a special election prior to that at a cost of some $25,000 to $30,000 to the board. While there's no indication right now as to whether or not the public is going to oppose the tax, should they, it is possible that the board would go ahead and proceed with a special election due to their timeline, saying that if they wait until the 2018 election cycle, that would put construction behind on the new Louisa West Elementary School until the start or sometime during 2020. Right now, the school district has a bonding potential, a borrowing power, if you will, of about $7 million for construction of the new school. Should the tax stay in place, that would increase their bonding or borrowing potential up to about $20 million. Now, before we wrap it up this evening, a little bit of everything, as is always the case, per your Licking Valley RECC forecast. First, more cold, more teens tonight, albeit upper teens. We're still in the teens tonight. We'll see clouds on the increase. Winds out of the west, moving at 3 miles per hour right now. They'll decrease to about nothing before the night is over. We'll also see, of course, that freeze warning in effect, as we'll see 19 degrees tonight and early tomorrow. And we're also looking at some precipitation tomorrow, and right now there is some rain expected to develop tomorrow as some milder air pulls in ahead of an approaching front. There's a small chance for some isolated, brief occurrences of some freezing rain, the National Weather Service is advising me to advise you, at the onset of that precipitation, if it starts to move in before temperatures warm up above the freezing mark. However, if it does happen, the time frame should be after everyone's to work or school, and it shouldn't really cause any problems. And that's if it happens, but it is something that we want you to pay attention to early tomorrow, as we do have some precipitation rolling in tomorrow and the cold air rolling out, hopefully it getting out of here before the rain gets in. Other than that, tomorrow we'll have rain likely, mainly after 2 certainly, with cloudy skies and a daytime high of 47. And we're not going anywhere tomorrow temperature-wise. It's a pretty steady 47, high and low, cloudy skies, rains continuing into your Friday night. A good night for some basketball. I feel like basketball is a good thing to do tomorrow night for some reason. I don't know. Saturday, for the first half of your weekend, a chance of rain. Those showers should start to pull out of here, I think, by mid-afternoon or so, and then clouds should start to part, giving us partly sunny skies, warming up to about 54, mid-50s for the rest of your Saturday, and just above freezing that night. We still have that chance of showers in the morning, but like I say, sunshine and clearing skies in the afternoon, certainly latter afternoon time frame. As for your Sunday, it's a keeper. Temperatures, well, they'll take a tiny back step to 51, but mostly sunny, mostly clear. Temperatures for nighttime lows right around 30, so pretty nice. Pretty average, pretty nice. As for the start of next week, where will we go from here? Well, right now, temperatures may get a boost from some warm air, but right now we'll stand pat at 62 on your Monday, partly sunny. A small chance of showers early, but a likelihood of showers later on into your Monday, and possibly some showers lingering into your early Tuesday morning time frame, about 8 o'clock or so. Otherwise, the sun makes a return. On Tuesday, the 50s will make a return as well. And by Wednesday of next week, I think low 50s and mid-50s by Thursday. So once again, freeze warning tonight. Maybe a little wintry mix tomorrow. Sun, rain, clear skies. We've got just about everything in your forecast.
I've got indictments. I have got some other headlines and news and information all already in the works for tomorrow's program. I can't believe we're wrapping up. Well, it was a day short for me, so I guess that's why, but it's often that case. Nevertheless, we're wrapping up this week of programming tomorrow night, and we hope to see you here for more news and information that you'll only see then. For now, good night, and thanks for watching.